kind man named Jairus loved his little daughter, Talitha. One day, Talitha became very sick. Jairus rushed out to find Jesus, the wonderful teacher and healer. "Please, Jesus," he begged, "my Talitha is dying. You must come quickly." Jesus listened gently and started to follow Jairus. But the road was crowded. Jesus stopped to help someone else. While he was busy, a messenger ran up to Jairus with sad news. "It's too late," the messenger whispered. "Your little girl is gone." Jairus felt a big lump in his throat, but Jesus turned to him and smiled. "Don't be afraid, Jairus," Jesus said. "Just believe. We will still go to your house." And off they went. At the house, people were crying. Jesus walked right past them to where Talitha lay sleeping, not breathing. He took her hand and said, "Talitha cum," which means, "Little girl, get up." And just like that, her eyes blinked open. Now let's visit a different town, a town called Bethany. This is where a man named Lazarus lived with his two kind sisters, Martha and Mary. Lazarus was Jesus' dear friend. When Lazarus became very sick, his sisters sent a message to Jesus. "Come fast," they pleaded. But Jesus stayed exactly where he was for 2 more days. By the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus had been buried in a tomb for 4 whole days. Martha rushed out to meet Jesus. "Lord," she cried, "if only you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus answered, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said she knew he would rise on the last day. Jesus looked her right in the eye. "I am the resurrection and the life," he told her. "Do you believe this?" Then Jesus went to the tomb. It was a dark cave closed off with a heavy stone. Jesus asked the men to roll the stone away. Everyone was afraid, but Jesus lifted his eyes and prayed to his Father in heaven. Then Jesus called out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" And what happened next was the most amazing thing. Just as Lazarus walked out of the tomb, Jairus' daughter rose from her bed. When Jesus steps in, death steps out. Jesus knew the perfect time to show his mighty power. He wasn't early, and he wasn't late. He was always perfectly on time. Because for Jesus, death is never the end of the story. The clay pot and the single sky. In the land of promise, the first people of Israel looked up and saw many skies. Like their neighbors, they believed that each sky held a powerful, helpful presence. Young Kedma knew the strong, quiet sky of El, the Father, and the fierce, burning sky of Yahweh, the warrior. In the small, scattered shrines, the people offered gifts to all the powerful ones. They lit incense for Asherah, the lady of the sacred tree, who brought life and rain. They poured out wine for Baal, the mighty storm rider, who made the barley grow tall. "Look to the God of the mountain," cried the wise ones like Ori in the southern kingdom of Judah. As the kingdom grew, the great temple in Jerusalem rose up, a splendid home for Yahweh. They taught that while other gods existed, the people's destiny was tied to the one who had brought them out of the desert. King Hezekiah swept through the land like a strong wind. He tore down the small altars to Baal and broke the pillars of Asherah. He said, "There is only one God who will protect us." But the people were used to many helpers, and the old ways held on like stubborn roots. King Josiah pushed the reforms even further. He wanted to pull all the roots of the old faith out of the soil. He burned the idols and closed every shrine that did not belong to Yahweh in the city. But when the strong king fell, the old spirits whispered again in the quiet places. Then came the thunder of the eastern army. The city of Jerusalem fell, the great temple burned, and the people were marched away to a foreign land. Where was Yahweh? The exiles cried, defeated. Did the gods of Babylon win? In the strange silence of exile, the thinkers and priests began to turn the question over and over. They looked at their broken pots and burning homes, and a deep, new idea began to form in the quiet of their hearts. "No," said Ori, now speaking for the prophets. "The disaster was not Yahweh's defeat. It was his judgment. The Babylonians were but an axe in his hand. Our unfaithfulness to him, the worship of the other gods, brought this upon us." A revolutionary truth unfolded. If the mightiest kings of the earth could be used by Yahweh as his tools, even the kings who did not know him, then Yahweh was not a god among many. He was the only God. When the people finally returned home, they knew a new landscape of the Spirit. They no longer saw many skies. They saw only the one, boundless sky of the Creator, Judge, and Ruler, the only God over heaven and earth.